Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a brand new streaming week here on DSPGaming. This is a good one. We've got multiple new releases and/or DLC expansions. We've got some exciting continuing playthroughs, chill vibes, and hopefully the power will stay on all week. We got a lot to talk about on today's show, including a different schedule, because this week the schedule will change a bit. I do have a slightly shorter streaming schedule than I usually would. That's okay, but I'll explain exactly how it's going to work. We even got a really weird release day coming up where a game is coming out at 3 p.m. Pacific time. I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that in the 18 years that I've been a video game creator. I've never seen a video game come out at 3 p.m. in the middle of the afternoon, but it's happening. So we will talk about how we're going to tackle all of this. It's going to be a good show, getting everyone caught up, positive vibes and fun. So, sit back and relax, folks. It's time to start the week right. It's time to start the week with a fresh edition of the Level 1 Podcast. Alrighty, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the show. As I said, the first show of the week. This is for Sunday, the 15th of March, 2026. Things are kind of in disarray, and the reason I say that, there's some stuff going on. My wife is actually cleaning the house. Jasper Kitty is deathly afraid of the vacuum cleaner. He just always has been. So she's vacuuming. He ran in here when I was about to start, and I'm like, well, Jasper, I'm going to start the show. I got to close the door then. So he's in there with the door closed. I'm going to see how he behaves. If he behaves normally, then maybe we can have him in here, more often with the door closed. Because a lot of people say, why don't you have your cat in your office more often? That's the reason why. Usually when he's in here, if I close the door, he freaks out. So let's see what happens. I'm curious. If he starts to fall on the door going nuts, I'll try to let him out. But the thing is, he doesn't want to go out because my wife's going all around the house vacuuming. He's like, oh no, it's a monster chasing me around the house. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. I'm back from my day off yesterday, and I'm ready for a 5-day streaming week. That's right. I said 5 days. Why 5 days this week instead of the usual 6? Well, to be honest, it's not a good reason. It's just kind of life. A bunch of stuff has backed up for me, which I now have to handle. And so I need to take an extra day off this week to go around doing appointments, working on taxes, and all kinds of crap that's not very fun. But it needs to be done. And I figure taking a whole day off to tackle it and do as much as I possibly can in the day is better than, say, me taking off a series of streams over several weeks where the schedule's all over the place. Let's just see if I could try to, condense it. So that's what I'm doing. And we'll see what happens with that. And I'll give you updates because I very well might need to take some more time off before the end of March in order to get everything done that I need to get done. But it's all good. 5 days of streaming this week, and this week is going to be exciting. Why? Well, first off, today, we're continuing with the very awesome and very highly successful indie game, Slay the Spire 2. Okay, I've now done 2 sessions of it, although admittedly, not normal sessions as I would like. I was supposed to have a major stream of this game on Friday, and then I lost power. We won't talk too much about that today, but it's very annoying because I had played the game earlier in the week, and the premiere stream did great. We had high attendance, high support, and a high engagement. Everyone was having a great time with Slay the Spire 2. And then I was supposed to play it again on Friday, and as I'm doing the DSP morning show, the power goes out because we have 2 inches of slush outside. Not even snow, just some slush, which is absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry. I know people are like, you're too hard on the people who run the things in your state, Phil. Well, maybe I wouldn't be so hard if I didn't live in Connecticut for 32 years of my life, where there's ice, sleet, snow, hail, hurricanes, tornadoes, and more, and usually the power doesn't go out for 2 inches. Like, I could see if it was 2 feet, but for 2 inches, it's kind of unacceptable that people's power go out. Anyway, I digress, because the power was out for a couple of hours. My stream went down. I didn't know when it was going to go back up. I did get it back up by around 2 p.m., but we had lost more than half the audience. Like, you know, originally that stream of Slay the Spire 2 that we had done earlier in the week had between maybe 250, 300 viewers, and then we had more on Kick. We barely had 150 on Friday because people didn't know I was going to be coming back from this power outage. So that's life, right? What can you do? But I'm excited today to do a major stream of it where we're actually going to play it for the entirety of the stream, having a good time. It's a great game. I can't wait for more. We're now playing with the Silent class, which is basically supposed to be like a stealth assassin that uses poison and weakness and other kind of status ailment stuff when they fight, rather than, say, the brute force of the Ironclad that we had done that first stream, right? So I am excited for today's stream. I hope that you'll stick around. It should be a really good one. And also this week, continuing RimWorld, right? We've also got some Dragon Quest coming up. We've got Street Fighter in a huge way, because I'm playing Street Fighter 6 all day Tuesday on St. Patrick's Day to celebrate the release of the new DLC character, Alex. And I've added some new animations today in honor of this DLC release. And so, if you gift a sub on Kick, or if you contribute with a smaller super chat, anything below $5, you have a random chance to get an Alex animation here on the stream. I added not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 Alex animations for this week's DLC release. So that's pretty cool. You'll see those today slowly, I'm sure, as people start contributing to the stream. In the meantime, I removed the other Street Fighter animations that I had, so it's not like too much Street Fighter overload. But it's great. I'm really enjoying having all of these animations randomly, you know, added and rotated around. I think it's very fresh. It's cool that every week I'm adding something new. Like, for example, next week I'll probably add spring animations, right? And then as I get towards that first week of April, I'll probably add birthday animations for my upcoming birthday celebration. So, good stuff coming. And I hope that you're all excited for that. Now, later in the week, we've got even more going on. Yes, sure, I'm continuing on with indies, where we'll do an indies night, right? But the big thing this week that I think everyone's excited for, it's the impending release of Crimson Desert, okay? So, to give you guys some information and to be transparent about this, okay? Crimson Desert actually started as an MMO many years ago called Black Desert Online. This is an action RPG hybrid style game. Yes, it is supposed to be MMO, so you could think, oh, open world, combat, crafting, you know, traversal, mini games, mounts. Yes, everything that you could think of, in a typical MMO was in Black Desert Online. Not to say that it was like the best MMO ever, but a lot of people seem to like it. So what they've done is they basically like backwards engineered their MMO to make it a single player adventure game. Interesting. I'm not aware of anyone who took an MMO and turned it into a single player game after the fact. I've heard of people taking single player games and turning them into multiplayer games, but not the opposite. So there has been a lot of information about this game that's been released over the last month, 2 months. All of it seemingly good, you know? Oh my God, the graphics are good. The mounts are interesting. This feature is cool. But the more and more that I keep hearing about the game, I have to wonder, what's the catch? If it has all these amazing, cool features, what's wrong with it? Because I'm so skeptical these days when these new games come out, right? It can't be the best game ever made. Right? It can't. There's got to be a catch. There's got to be a shortcoming. Is it going to be that their story sucks? Is it going to be that the gameplay loop gets boring after 10 hours? Right? Like, what is it? What's going to happen because something's going to happen to make this game not as good as it seems on paper, right? So we're all excited about it to see what it's going to be. It could very well be one of the best games ever released, or it could be a huge flop, or it could land somewhere in between. The game releases on Thursday. I'm absolutely playing it as much as I possibly can on Thursday. But there's a problem. This game is made by Korean game developers, and they've decided to do the weirdest release schedule ever. Instead of just doing a typical overnight release where, okay, it'll release midnight your time, which usually is what game devs do, they've decided to release this game worldwide at one time, and it's the weirdest time ever. It's 3 p.m. my local time on Thursday. Now, as you know, my streams usually run from around 11:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Then I take a break for uploading and for dinner. And then I come back and I usually stream around 7 p.m. till around 10 p.m.-ish, right? So how's that going to work if the game comes out at 3 p.m.? It's not. So what I'm thinking of doing on Thursday is something very different. I'm thinking I will start an earlier stream and hang out with you guys, probably doing a Level 1 podcast, recapping what happened during the week, giving some highlights and expectations of what we're expecting from Crimson Desert. And then once we hang out, I go offline. All right? Now, you know, my podcast usually runs to like 1:30. So go offline for like an hour. Go have an early meal with my wife. Obviously, you can't call it dinner if you're having it in the afternoon. I guess it'll just be considered a lunch. And then come back for 3 p.m. At that time, I will be playing Crimson Desert from 3 p.m. all the way through the day into the night. So basically, I'm going to get like 6+ hours of Crimson Desert in on one super concentrated gameplay stream. So I almost never do that, okay? But in regards to this game, it's the only way that I'm going to get a good amount of gameplay in of the game on release day. So I'm going to change the schedule up to do that. Now, sadly, I can't be here, on Friday to play it again. And that's kind of one of the tough decisions I had to make. Like, when am I going to take this time off? And the thing is, I had to take some time off to do personal stuff. So hopefully playing it over 6 hours on release day will give us a good taste of exactly what the game is, so everyone's questions are answered, and then I'll be off on Friday, Saturday, and I'll return on Sunday to play it more, okay? So there you go. In fact, what I might even do is a very quick video at the end of Thursday night, just to say, hey, after 6.5 hours, here's my initial thoughts on Crimson Desert, and that's what I leave as the highlighted video of the channel while I'm gone for a couple days, okay? So that's what we're looking at for this week. To run through the schedule, today, Slay the Spire 2. Tonight, RimWorld, which I'm very excited for. RimWorld's actually been doing really good with our progress and everything, so that's going to be great. Then tomorrow, Dragon Quest VII Reimagined and an Indies Tryouts Night. They've been doing well, and we've had a lot of fun trying various variety of games. We're going to have another one tomorrow night. Tuesday, all day long on Tuesday, will be Alex in Street Fighter 6. First, we'll do his combo trials and tutorial. Then we'll take him in the lab and practice some of his basic strategies, his bread and butter combos, etc. Then we'll take him into casual play online so that we can learn how to play against people. And then, hopefully by the end of the day, since it'll be a double stream Street Fighter 6 day, we'll be able to take him into his ranked placements and see where we place with this new character. So I'm excited for Alex all day long on Tuesday. And of course, like I said, we have Alex animations for contributions. So anyone who gives a sub has a random chance on Kick to get an animation of Alex. And if you do like a smaller super chat under $5, there's a chance that you'll get an Alex animation as well. All right? So good stuff. I'm excited for this week up to then. Then Wednesday, I think what we'll do is probably just a redo of today. We'll probably do more Slay the Spire and more RimWorld. And then Thursday is the Crimson Desert release, as I've explained. So it's a shorter week. It's actually a really exciting week, is it not? Good stuff. Okay. So, good stuff, my friends. Hold on one sec. Whoops. Aha. Okay. So we got some contributions rolling in. Someone tipped $1, says, do some tier lists on Thursday. There are many pre-made ones on the website. Good way to build hype. Tier lists of what? Your opinion is valuable. Also, don't skip Friday. You'll kill hype for the game, move days around. I can't. It's called life. When you have a life, sometimes life, has to take control. And in this case, I have things that have been backed up that I haven't been doing that have to be worked on. I cannot be here Friday or Saturday. It's that simple. There's no way changing it. There's no getting around it. That's just life. I'll be back on Sunday. Thanks for $1, but I have no idea what you're talking about with tier lists, right? Someone tipped $2 as you mentioned your wife doing house chores, cooking, cleaning. Does she take care of the entire condo? She does a lot of the major work. I help her. Like, for example, this morning as she was cleaning downstairs, I helped her a lot while she was doing it. And while I was having my breakfast, like, oh, eat my breakfast, drop it, go help her with this, then go have some coffee, then go help her with this. I help while I can. The thing is, I'm in here streaming quite a lot. So if I'm streaming, I obviously can't be helping her with the housework and stuff, right? Primarily, she does most of the cleaning around the house that she can do. If there's stuff she can't do because, I can't reach it or lifting heavy stuff, I do all that. And she'll wash the clothes and she cooks. Yeah. She takes care of the house stuff, which is great that she does that because she's much better at it than I am. Meanwhile, you know how often that I'm in here streaming. So, thank you for $2. One other quick thing that I want to talk about before we just kind of chill, because like I said, this podcast, I'd much rather just have it be a more laid-back show where we could talk about topics that you want to talk about, and then when we're done with that, we can see if we want to end it early to play more Slay the Spire or whatever. So before we get to that, I wanted to talk a little bit about Slay the Spire 2, but let's go. Let's say hello to everyone this morning. How's everyone doing this lovely Sunday? Who do we got on the YouTube side? We got Pizza Time, GBA, Dab Hands. Let's see here. Grandmaster Scrub. King Michael's here. What's up, King Michael? King of the Void, how are ya? Let's see. Rose Diamonds, how are ya? Caliban, what's up? Ramza, what's up? How you doing? On the kick side, who do we got this morning? We've got username already taken. Robust Eggo Waffle Breakfast. Now, that's a hell of a name, and that's someone who already had a name and must have changed their name. So I don't know who that actually was beforehand. Asthma Goal Spoons is here. Omega Sauce is here. DSP for Prez is here. Turkey Infused Pasta. Ooh, they're here. And more. How y'all doing? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show, and welcome to some chill vibes here on the channel. So, the only other thing that I really want to talk about before we get to like Q&A and just hanging out, Slay the Spire 2 is crushing it, particularly for an indie game. Sorry, I'm looking at Jasper. For an indie game, okay, Slay the Spire 2 is doing incredibly well. It has sold over 3 million copies within 1 week of release. 3 million copies. That's crazy for an indie game. That's incredibly high sales numbers for an indie game. And it's in early access. It's not even fully released. And it sold 3 million copies. Okay? Hence why, when we take a look at this screen, it makes sense that it's still getting a peak of over 500,000 players a day. Oh, Omega Sauce, thank you for the gifted sub. And we got our first Alex animation of the week right there. Thank you so much, Omega Sauce. In fact, let's just get that on the leaderboard now before I forget. That's our first sub of the week. One of 4 different Alex animations that we will have on the stream. Okay, so, take a look at Slay the Spire 2's performance in 1 week, man. Seriously. 574,000 peak, and then you say, well, what about the 24-hour peak? Obviously, the game has declined, right? Yeah, it lost around 2,300 players. In a week? Yeah, that's nothing. It's hitting giant highs every day. Look at this. I don't know what time is that. See, I don't know what time that is. Whatever time that is, that's crazy that it's that many players every day. This giant spike of players. So, by the way, for the record, yeah, it's crushing sales numbers. It's doing tons of profits for the company, which is great. As you know, I've done 2 sessions of it. I love it. Can't wait to play it more today. This is a really great game for right now. Now, the question is, how much content does it have because it's early access? I don't know. I've only played with 2 of the heroes so far. I think it has, 5 or 6? So we'll have to see as we get further in and we do more runs, how much more exciting it gets, or are we going to hit a wall where we run out of content because it's early access? I don't know. Right now, it's going very strong, so I'm going to keep it in the rotation for now because I really like it. Obviously, I want to keep playing, try new heroes, try new builds, try new strategies, and just keep going for now. But maybe at one point we'll run out of content and we'll have to put it on the shelf until there's more released, in which case we go back to it, right? So the only thing that I wanted to show you, basically, while Slay the Spire 2, which released on exactly the same day as Marathon, has retained its number of peak players, sadly, Marathon is not. Marathon is losing players every day. It started with an all-time peak of 88,000. Only about a week and a half into its release now, it is down to around 50,000 a day. And it's a multiplayer game. So I want to make this clear. This is a game that should have more players. And it's just not. Now, the weird thing about it is there's been no official announcement from Bungie. But the rumors on the internet are that it sold about 2 million copies. Okay? Which for Bungie is a good amount. But I do have a question. Okay? If 2 million people bought Marathon, where are they? If 2 million people bought this game, why is it that 1,900,000 of them aren't playing it? Where did they go? I find it hard to believe. Now, perhaps, and this is a strong perhaps, they're all on console. Maybe? If you really want to believe that 1,900,000 people bought the game on console exclusively and not on PC, and that's why the Steam numbers look like this, I don't know. I find it, I'm very skeptical, okay? But Marathon is doing all right. Like, again, it's not dead, which I guess is a good thing for Bungie. But, to be honest, don't you think it should be doing better? I mean, yeah. This should be a humongous audience, and it's not. This is supposed to be the next big thing, and to be honest, the talk about Marathon is dwindling. Like, right now, people are going crazy for Slay the Spire 2. The entire gaming community is talking about the game, liking it a lot. Marathon, it's slowing down. You're seeing less talk, less buzz. The word in search is way down on popularity. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I don't know what's going to happen with this game for a game that's supposed to be, you know, always playing online. Always, you know, it's really not doing that well. All right. And for the record, just for direct comparison, Arc Raiders keeps having 185,000 players at all times. So, I'm just saying. Now, yeah, Arc Raiders has a lot more hype behind it. Arc Raiders has been out longer. But I'm just saying that's their direct competition is doing 3 times better than them. So, I guess we'll have to see what happens in general over time, okay? Cool. Alrighty, so Jasper Kitty, you want to leave? I'll open the door for him now because now the vacuuming sounds like it's done. So, exactly what I thought would happen happened. He basically got antsy, so he was in here for about a half an hour with the door closed, and he was literally just sitting there staring at the door. Like, why can't I go out? So this is why, when you guys ask, why isn't Jasper Kitty on your streams more often? Well, when I stream, I do need to close my door because I have really high ceilings in my house. My house is meant to basically like have sound travel. So if I have that door open and I stream, my voice booms and echoes through the house and my wife hears it. Okay? She doesn't want to hear my voice booming and echoing as I do commentary on video games or on podcasting. All right? So I need to have the door closed when I stream. But I have the door closed, that means that Jasper would be stuck in here, and then he gets antsy, and he does what he just did. So that's why he's not in here all the time. I have absolutely no problem with Jasper being in here. Like, I like having him in here, but in general, he's usually in here when my wife is at work. That way, I can have the door open, and it doesn't bother him, you see? So he's usually in here like 2-3 times a week when my wife is at work. And a lot of the times you don't see him because he's actually been very afraid since we did the studio change back in December, January, and he hasn't really been feeling comfortable, but this week he did. If you remember, twice last week, he jumped up on my lap and he was on camera for like 20 minutes. I was like, oh, that's cool that he's getting more accustomed to the set. It's not really freaking him out as much, you know? So you'll probably start seeing more of him now as he gets more comfortable. And again, if he would be okay with the door being closed, I'd like to have him in here all the time. I guess we'll see. Okay. How was my day off? Asked King Michael. It was all right. It certainly wasn't the best day off, but it wasn't the worst. We were in the big thaw, meaning all the slush that we got on Friday was all melting, so it was insanely soaking wet outside yesterday. Big mess. You know, I had to drive around and do errands, and, you know, the roads were kind of yucky, but it was melting at a rapid pace because it warmed up a lot. You know, in general, just a relaxing day with my wife. We watched a lot of interesting videos from people who do those kind of like walking tour vlogs of places, and we've been trying to look like internationally. So we see this guy that he does like walking tours of like zoos and theme parks and things like that over in Asia, you know, places we'll never go. So we've watched a few of those videos, and that was kind of relaxing. We watched one of a zoo, and Jasper got all excited because you hear all these birds and everything, so he's all alerted. He's watching it with us. He's like, ooh, creatures on the screen, you know. So that was fun. And what do we have for dinner? Indian food. We ordered some Indian food. We got a chicken curry. We got a lamb biryani rice. And we got some tandoori chicken, which is the chicken that they make inside that clay pot oven. And it has this unique spices and flavorings on it. It's just absolutely delicious. So it was a pretty good day, relaxing day, good food, good times, just relaxing vibes, and a good recharge to come back for a fun week today. Have I considered moving to a better house for streaming? I don't know what you mean, Munch. A better house for streaming. What, do you really think that there's a house that has a studio in it or something? Like what would be better for me for my streams? Okay, let's be realistic here. Okay, maybe if I could have fiber internet, which isn't available anywhere out here unless I lived in like downtown Seattle near the university. They have it there. It's not widely available out here yet. It will be soon, from what I understand. All these companies are improving their infrastructure. I'm actually going to talk with Comcast this year. It's time for me to renegotiate my contracts. I'm going to see what they have available. From what I understand, they do have some better speeds and packages. So we'll see. But yeah, for my own purposes, my internet's fine. Don't really foresee myself needing better internet or anything like that. In reality, I would say either a house that has central air so that I can actually regulate the temperature in my studio on days when it would be super warm here, right? Or a room that's slightly bigger with better filming angles. To be honest with you, this room does have better filming angles. The wall over there is better, okay? If I were to rotate my entire set around to that back wall over there, and I had all my soundproofing over there and all my lighting, it would look better over there. I know it would. It's a bigger wall. I'd have more space for the desk. I'd be able to move in and out more easily. I could have the cameras actually further back, probably. Yeah, it would be better if I had it angled that way. And honestly, now that I have this different setup where now I'm playing on monitors instead of TVs and everything, it's doable. I would have to rearrange the entire room. It would take a lot of work, but I could do it, okay? So I would just say a slightly bigger room would be cool and having central air. But is that worth moving? No. It's not worth moving from house to house, especially in a market like it is right now. You know how insane it is right now. The pricing on homes and everything is wild. So, no, I'm not looking to move to have a better filming setup. I'm good right now. And to be honest, within the next month, I will likely be putting in my air conditioner. I just have to because it's gonna start to have warmer temperatures, sun all the time. It's gonna be too hot in here. I'm gonna need to be able to cool down daily. So. Have I caught up on the new season of Netflix One Piece yet? Do I have thoughts? I've watched some of it. It's great. It's just as good as season one. It's very fast moving. Like, they're doing entire story arcs in like one episode. It's just crazy to me because I remember watching the anime and be like, damn, this took like a long time to get through, and they just turboed through it. The story beats so fast. So I hate to say it, I do feel like the impact of certain characters is lessened when their entire arc is 20 minutes versus like 7 episodes. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, this is probably the best way to go about it for mainstream audiences that aren't used to very long-winded anime. Let's be honest, anime tends to have tons of filler, going over the same things over and over, very long-winded dialogue, a lot of excessive extra content, and this show cuts all of that out of there, all of it, and just gets to the point. That's good, except then when a big impactful moment happens, it's like, oh, well, it's impactful to me because I watched the anime. So I actually know that this is like a really meaningful moment. But for the people just watching this show, I don't know if it really has as much impact. You know what I mean? But outside of that, it's pretty good. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm enjoying it. I am liking the show, and I look forward to finishing the season, and maybe I can give you my whole thoughts on it, but I haven't gotten through it yet. Okay? Why won't I ever go to Asia? It's not that I won't ever go to Asia. It's just unlikely. Like, if I were to go on a vacation, I'm probably going to go somewhere in the United States where it's cheaper and easier to get there, as opposed to flying across the entire planet, where it'd be way more expensive, way more time-consuming, way more of a hassle, you know? Just saying. Like, it's not that I'm against going to Asia, but it's more feasible to do stuff more local, or at least within the contiguous United States. You know what I mean? Dapian says he meant a house that sound doesn't travel in, so you don't need the door closed. To be honest, that wouldn't be a good house for streaming. Like, think about it this way. You're in a room, this is your streaming studio, right? You need it to be a room that's spacious, because you want to have room to be able to maneuver your set, get around, have a bunch of equipment. Especially with me, one of my major problems is I have 2 PCs, 2 monitors, 2 lights, 2 cameras, 2 keyboards, 2 mice, the rolling bridgecast, the microphone, that I could keep going. And all of that generates a ton of heat. It makes the air kind of dry and stagnant. It makes it, how can I say? You just know, like if you go into a computer room in school, in a college, right? It's got that weird vibe in the air. That's just what happens when you have a lot of electronics in a confined area, right? So you need to have space for that. You know, like you're not supposed to have that in a closet. You need to have that in like an aerated area. So the bigger the room, the better. But the bigger the room you have, the more echo you create. You know what I'm saying? So, and let's be honest, a residential house is not built for soundproofing. It's just not. It's meant for, you know, people to live in normally, a bedroom or whatever. When they built these homes, they're not thinking about, oh, how do we make it so that sound doesn't travel? So that's correct. Let alone the insane amount of heat generated by my 4 wrist rests. Because I have the wrist rest here for the keyboard, the wrist rest for the mouse, the wrist rest for the keyboard, and the wrist rest for the mouse. You guys have not actually seen the final setup. I never took a picture or did the tour once this was fully set up completely. So you don't even know what it looks like. It's crazy, man. Let me tell you. Everywhere I go, my wrists are rested. Any position, my wrists are fully rested everywhere. The chair here is resting. Here it's resting. Oh, I have the most comfy wrists of any streamer. It's awesome. I could. That is true. I have so many wrist rests. I could have a wrist rest for my wrist rest. Like I could do this. Ready? See that? So now my wrist is rested, but the wrist rest is also rested. That's a good one. I didn't even think about that one. Now we're talking. Now we got some exciting ideas going on here on the show. That's why I do the show every day, because you guys share some of the most big-brained ideas I've ever heard. Thank you so much for that one. Okay. All right. Well, guys, it's been a fun half hour of messing around talking about the topics I wanted to talk about. Let's now just open the show up to Q&A. Let's see what's on your mind. If the show goes the normal length, great. If it goes short, great. If it goes long, whatever. But I do want to play Slay the Spire as a major stream today. I'm disappointed that I didn't get to play it as much as I wanted to the other day as a result of the power outage. So, what do you guys want to talk about? Can you be unbanned on YouTube? I suppose so. I don't know who you are, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. I don't recognize your name. Okay, let's see here. Why did I give up on muting noises? I haven't. And whenever I have to clear my throat, whenever I have the stupid post-nasal drip or stuff like that, I mute it. There's still going to be bodily functions that happen that, like, for example, I just burped by accident. I didn't know I was going to burp. I was in the middle of doing something and a burp just came out. Like, well, what am I going to do? I can't push the button now. The burp's already coming out. All right, so sometimes that'll happen. But for example, right now, I had to do a clearing and I muted it. So if it's something that I feel coming and I can plan to control, I'll mute it. If it's something that's a natural occurrence that I can't stop, I mean, you just have to put up with it. It's called being a human. All right? You get used to humans acting like humans. Oh, the Oscars are tonight? Boy, am I glad I don't care. I don't give 2 shits about the Oscars. I never have. I never will. I am not watching them. I'll be streaming RimWorld tonight, so I hope you guys will join me for that. Oh, really? Well, happy Mother's Day in the UK. I did not know today was UK Mother's Day. To all the mums out there, good work raising your boys and your girls as responsible members of society for those who did. And who didn't, well, how dare you, shame upon you. You should have done better. Happy Mother's Day in the UK. Very nice. What brand of power backup do I use? I don't know. I got them off of Amazon. Gold something? Golden Mate. I'm trying to read it right now. I can't really see. Yeah, I think it's like Gold Mate or Golden Mate. I'm sure it's some stupid, knockoff brand. It's not no name brand or anything like that. But I got 2 of them like a year and a half ago because I knew I needed them. You cannot have high-end computers running with no battery backups. And they're good. It's just they're not ultra powerful or anything. They're meant to basically keep your PC on for like 20, 30 minutes so you can shut down all the processes you're doing and shut them down safely. That's the point of a battery backup. There's no point. There's people have a misconception of what a PC battery backup is. They seem to think it means you could just run infinitely. Even if there's no power, it's like having a generator in your house. No, that's not the point of a battery backup at all. It's supposed to be a fail-safe. So if your power suddenly turns off like this, it doesn't shock your computer and destroy your computer because of the surge. And it's also supposed to prevent you from losing your work. Like, let's say you were in the middle of a big piece of work. You're editing a video. You're doing a productivity thing. You're an accountant and you're in the middle of calculations. You didn't save yet, right? So you don't lose your work. That's the point. Excuse me. And then having 20, 30 minutes gives you time to save and shut down everything safely so there is no sudden loss of power or power surge that damages your hardware. That's the point of a battery backup. For some reason, people think the battery backup is supposed to last several hours and it's so you could continue your work day. That's not the case at all. Okay? I don't know why people have that misconception. Yeah, it was weird because Friday, I streamed, it was about 30 minutes, I want to say. I streamed 30 extra minutes even when my power was out because that's how long my battery backup lasted. And then people were leaving comments on the video, what kind of battery backup dies within 30 minutes? All of them. Like literally all of them. That's the point. It's not a generator. If you want to spend $1,000, you could probably get a generator for your house. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the point. No, I wear deodorant. I very much enjoy wearing deodorant and not stinking and sweating in the armpits. Yes, I wear deodorant. Any JRPGs I'm interested in for the future? Well, as you know, right now we are doing Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. Sadly, once again, we have another week. I can only play it once. And this means that this playthrough is going to be like forever going because we're not playing it that often. Sorry, I keep getting a tickle in my throat today. And because we're not playing it that often, we're not making much progress, okay? Sucks. I want to be making progress just like all my other playthroughs, but, it's life. Things keep happening, circumstances keep happening, new games keep coming out, and this thing keeps taking a backseat to everything else. Once we're done with Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, I don't know what I want to play. I would maybe want to do like a throwback. Like maybe I could play like Final Fantasy VI from the Pixel Remaster Collection, or maybe not. I have no clue. And I also don't think we would be jumping directly into it right away, because once you do a lengthy JRPG, you don't immediately start another one, right? Okay. Mike Kelly, thank you for 18 months of support. Now that you've been unbanned, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Speaking of which, so here we are 40 minutes into the stream. How dare I not mention support? Support, 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 support. You might be saying, why is Phil saying support so much? Because there's actually retards who track how many times I say the word support on a stream. Support, 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 support. And this is going to throw their tracker into disarray. They're going to be like, why did Phil say support 700 times on stream today? Because you're retarded and I know how dumb you are. So if I say it a million times, it fucks you up. See? Support. Anyway, yes, today, if you enjoy the content, you can support it. I don't know if you're aware of that. How can you do so? Well, there's many ways to support my content. I'm so sorry. I keep getting a tickle in my throat today. It's very annoying. I wish that my throat would support me more. It's not supporting me by giving me a tickle and making me cough frequently. That's not the level of support that I like from my throat. I wish I could just do my show smoothly, but my throat is not supporting me today. Anyway, so if you like my content, there's many ways that you can support it, all right? First of all, if you're here live on the stream, as you can see, We have over 220 viewers on YouTube alone. Please give the stream a like. Liking the content on this channel, whether it's the live stream or if you watch this on demand after the fact, helps with engagement. Engagement is a critical factor and metric on YouTube. The more engagement that you have, the more YouTube tends to recommend your content to the rest of the people on YouTube. So I'll show up more in related videos, suggested videos in the algorithm if you like the content. So if you like the content, please click that like button. Now, engagement is also critical, meaning talking in the chat, interacting with me as I play the game today, leaving comments on said videos about the gameplay. All of that, okay? So that's pretty cool. Please leave comments and engage. It's awesome. It makes it more interactive and more fun to begin with, but I appreciate all of your commentary on my content. I read all your comments, and it helps me a lot with a lot of different kinds of games that I play, okay? Now, outside of those free and interactive levels of support, you can also support the content via contributions. How can you do that? Well, if you're on the YouTube side, you could send a super chat, or you could send a tip via PayPal, or you could become a member or gift some memberships to the community. If you're on Kick, you can send some kicks my way, or you could become a subscriber to the channel, or you could possibly give some subscriptions to your fellow viewers. You could also send a tip if you're watching on Kick. So there's many different ways that you can support the content, and if you support the content today, I will give you a shout out, okay? We have animations that play. I have a leaderboard that I update, and I would very much appreciate support so that I can keep stuff going around here. And thank you to those who have been supportive recently, because your support has allowed me to buy a bunch of games, to do upgrades to the setup, and in general, just to do whatever we want to do on every single given day, right? There's no limitations. I'm like, oh no, I just can't do this today. Hey, we do an Indies night, I'll buy a whole bunch of games, right? Which is awesome. So, please, let's keep that going, and thank you in advance to anyone who supports the content today. I very much appreciate it. Particularly, here we go. We have Noob Gaming Boomer, who did a $5 super chat. Thank you to Noob Gaming Boomer. Let's see what they have to say, but let me get them on the leaderboard first. Okay. So, Noob Gaming Boomer says, are you going to do IRL streams? That would be cool to see the snow or to see Seattle, maybe visiting arcades or thrift stores. It would be good content. Ideally, I think long-term, I would like to do something like that. Now, it would not be something I would ever announce, because, you know, the moment that I announce it, people would try to mess with it, you know, and that's stupid. I'm not saying people would try to show up IRL and mess with me. I'm saying people would do stuff remotely, like try to call the store and say there's a bomb in the store, you know, dumb shit like that, because that's how they are. They're just mentally challenged people who think that that stuff's funny when it's not. So, I'm not against doing IRL content in the long term, just that this year I haven't had a chance to do anything yet. Like, really, I've wanted to. I wanted to do stuff and just hasn't come together. Notably, as I've told you guys, behind the scenes, some of the stuff that we're attempting to do is redo our house. We're trying to do, like, cleaning. We're trying to do rearranging and reshuffling. We're trying to make it so that rooms and areas that have not been used for years are finally going to be used for useful stuff. We already completely cleaned out our garage, but now we need to power wash it when it gets warm enough. We have 2 rooms that we have deep cleaned, but now we have to do measurements. We have to see what can fit in here realistically. What can we use this room for? Can we get an exercise machine? Can we get like a piece of furniture just to relax, you know? Stuff like that. And we're working on that. So that's kind of our focus right now. But long term, I am interested in maybe doing some IRL content, going out for a nice day with the wife and filming a couple things. Going to a restaurant, doing an in-person, you know, food review for DSP Tries It, stuff like that. I would love to do. We just haven't really gotten around to it yet. It's just how life is. You get busy, and the next thing you know, some stuff that you were thinking of doing kind of gets put on the back shelf. And that's kind of what's happened with a few different things with us. It's like we wish by now, quite frankly, we were hoping that the whole redesign of the stuff in the house would have been done. We would have had an exercise machine, all that, and it just hasn't happened yet. We just get too busy all the time. And now, having to take days off from streaming in order to do other crap also just, it impacts all of this, right? So, it is what it is. But long term, sure, we probably look to do some content like that, but I wouldn't tell you about it ahead of time, you know, to be honest. It just doesn't make sense to do so, because you don't want people to mess with you, right? Okay. How do we have things we haven't used for years? Because the house is large. See, people are stupid. and they want to believe whatever they're told. So if you listen to the wrong people, you would think that I'm broke. I live in a tiny, crappy home that's falling apart, right? No, I live in a large house. It's much more space than we really use. We have entire extra rooms that aren't used. We have a giant storage nook that's not used. We have all this stuff, and it's like, when you don't take the time to take care of it, sadly, it can get into like disarray, and that's kind of what happened. We had entire areas of clutter. We had to clean it out. We had furniture that was broken furniture, dead furniture we're not using. We had to get rid of it. You know, we have a whole room across the hallway we're not using. We're like, let's clean this out. Let's take it seriously. Let's deep clean it. Let's, their garage was a huge mess. We cleaned it out, and now we got to power wash it. Like, we want to power wash the crap out of that garage so it's like sparkling clean. And then say, well, what can we do with this now, right? So we're finally starting to take the time to do that, which is something that, previously we should have, but didn't have the means, to be honest. Yeah, financially, that was a big part of it. And now we can, because things are going so well. So that's a good thing. It's a positive change, right? So yeah, things are going good. It's just now it's more about time than money. You know what I'm saying? It's about that. It's used to be money, and now it's like time is the bigger constraint for us. Have I ever considered downsizing? Absolutely not. There's zero reason for me to downsize. That would be very foolish. This is where the stupidity comes in. Someone just says, you just said you can only afford domestic vacations. No, I didn't. Now you're banned. Never said that. I said realistically, we'd probably stay domestic. Why? It's ease of travel, cheaper travel. You can do more. As opposed to if you're going to go across the world, it's going to be more expensive. It takes longer to travel and do stuff like that. When did I say we can't afford it? You're just an idiot. So get banned and stay the fuck out. What a moron. I don't know, Layla. We're not even really thinking about it. Layla says, where would you like to go when you go on vacation? My wife and I have talked about a ton of different things. We really have. Like, at this point, it's like there's so many possibilities of things to do. First we're like, when we go on vacation, we don't want to do tourist trap stuff. We want to go somewhere that's more relaxing, right? So do we want to go to like one of these like cabins up in the mountains or a resort or something where you're just relaxing, right? But then you're like, well, we want to go somewhere where there's a lot of good food. Maybe there's some good attractions. Well, that might be touristy. That's kind of the opposite, right? And you're like, well, where do we want to go? Do we want to go up to Canada? Do we want to go down the West Coast? Do we want to go to the East again? Do we want to go to the Midwest somewhere? And you talk about different places you can go and different things that you could do in those areas. There's some areas where, like, just simply because of its location, because it's not known as like a humongous, like, tourist area, that you could do a lot of fun stuff for cheap. So you can do more because you can actually do it at a place that's not super crowded, like going to LA. Forget that shit, right? You want to go somewhere nice that's not crazy overpopulated and overexpensive. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of options. And it's like, maybe we want to go on a cruise one day. We've never done anything like that. And the thing is, what's happened is that now everyone online documents everything. So it's easy to now take a look at, say, hey, here's what you can do on a cruise line where previously maybe you had no idea what you could actually do if you went on a cruise. Now people have documented a cruise from start to finish, and you could see the food, the activities, the booze, the fun that you can have on something like that. So if you're going to make that investment of money, you know that you're going to get maximum return out of it, as opposed to some people just go on a whim and then they end up hating the cruise because they had no idea that's what it really was, you see? So we're looking into a lot of things. We are. We've been looking at, but the thing is, none of it's serious because, like I've told you, we're not in a situation right now where we could do something like that because of our life situation. It's not money, it's our life situation. But, things will change eventually, and then we'll look to do it. So we're not looking to travel or do anything like that right now. Right now, it's more like we want to do home improvements. We want to use the space we have, get a home gym, clean the house out, do stuff like that. That's our focus for this year. Some people are of the impression that we need to leave the country if we're going to go on a real vacation. Like I've said, here's the thing. My ideal trip, a life-changing trip that I would probably like to do someday, I want to go to Europe, and I want to do a tour of Europe, because I know that there's that train that goes across Europe, right? And it does like all the major places. So do a vacation based around that train. You like stay 2 days in the UK, 2 days in France, 2 days in Germany, 2 days in Italy. I have no idea if they're even in that order. I'm probably completely wrong. I'm horrible with geography, okay? But you know what I'm saying? Like maybe stay 2-3 weeks in Europe, but just do a tour of Europe while you're there. Take in the sights, take in the food, take in the culture, the climate, all that stuff. Just enjoy a few days in each major country, right? I think that would be amazing. But am I ever going to get to do it? I don't know. I don't know. If you're going to Europe, it's a minimum of 2 weeks. Of course, like you don't want to have to rush. You want to be able to do the fun stuff and take your time. Exactly. Eurostar, is that what it's called? The Eurostar? That train is super expensive. If you want the rail pass for a week, it's $300 per passenger. You think $300 for an entire week of travel is expensive? Dude, it costs like $100 to get a fucking Uber down the street in the United States. Are you crazy? Andrew Jose, thank you for a $5 super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support this morning. Well, this afternoon now. We're in the afternoon. Appreciate that. Oh, there you go. Rose says, if you want to get maximum sightseeing done for a little hassle, maybe a cruise. Right, because the right cruise liner could hit up certain touristy locations along like a coast or down, you know what I'm saying? A certain path, you can go to different islands and stuff. It's possible. That could be pretty fun. I don't know. Again, there's a lot to do in this world. I know some people, they tend to get so wrapped up in life. They're like, man, life sucks. Everything's boring. It's the opposite. There's actually so much interesting stuff on Earth to do. It's just a matter of having the time and the means, meaning financial and health-wise, to do them, right? There's so many things we would like to do, but we have to get to a point where we can actually do stuff. And right now, we're not at that point. I'd like to do a lot of different things, especially now that I've gotten healthy. I could do a lot more. You have to understand that when I was heavy and my back was killing me, I couldn't do much. Now I'm like healthy as shit. I can do whatever I want. I have no limitations with travel or whatever. I can do whatever I need to do. I'm good. King of the Void says, Virgin Voyages or Princess are good experiences. Yeah, for the minimal amount of research that we've done, which is incredibly minimal, we basically found out that Carnival cruises aren't very good. That Carnival cruises are meant to be more of the discount liner, but it's more like this crazy, zany party atmosphere where people just are like doing dumb shit. And that's the opposite of what we would want, you know? Certainly we want to have some fun, but we'd also want to have a relaxing experience. We don't want to be around a bunch of rowdy losers who get drunk and act like assholes all day. So, anyway. Okay. All right, what else do you guys want to talk about? We got a little bit of time. We've been doing an hour podcast. I've covered all the topics I want to cover. So at any moment, we can end the show, all right? And we can do whatever we want. Or we could keep going and chill for a little longer. Either way, I'm happy. You know, what do you guys want to talk about today? Oh, I've been to Universal Studios a ton of times. I don't think I want to do that again. I mean, I went to Universal Studios Florida and California when I was a kid. And then I went to Universal Studios again, like, 13 years ago? I don't want to go again. If anything, I want to do first-time experiences. You know what I mean? I want to do stuff I've never experienced before. That way I'm adding to my whole life experience rather than saying just redoing the same shit again. Am I going to see the new Scream movie? Eventually I'll see it. I'm not going to the movies to see it. But whenever it's on demand, I'll see it. Insanely Loud says, you should go to the Mario Land at Universal Studios. If anything, that would probably be the more interesting thing. But my wife and I have seen it. Like, you know, like I said, they have these walking tours, right? And we were very interested in it when it first released. And you look at it, you're like, okay, so here's the Mario. Now they have the Donkey Kong. And you see it, like, probably cool to see it, but it's pretty too expensive and just not a lot. It's not a big area. It's a smaller area. It's not like a giant Universal area. It's just these two sections of the park, and there's not a lot to do there. Like, each section has, like, 1 or 2 rides, if that, and then a bunch of, like, overpriced food and a bunch of souvenirs. And that's about it. So, nah. Like I said, if we were to do stuff like that ever, we'd probably want to do, like, first-time stuff we've never done before. But if anything, we're thinking that's the kind of stuff to avoid. That's the kind of stuff that's the real touristy trap stuff. If you have a bunch of kids and stuff and you want to go do it, great. But we're thinking, can we find something that's, like, go somewhere, it's not as well known, but it's more resort-like. You have more opportunity to relax, maybe have some really good food, some drinks, relax and chill, but then also maybe do some tourism, some sightseeing, some fun. But it's not all about being surrounded by insane amounts of crowds the entire time, doing something a zillion other people have already done. You know what I mean? No, I will never start doing movie reviews, and I have no idea what the last movie I saw in a theater was. I really don't remember. It's been so long, and I have no desire to go back. Guitar player says Yellowstone Park. Really? You ever been a Yellowstone guitar player? I don't know anything about that. Good morning, or good afternoon, Satan. Satan is here on the stream. How you doing? Layla says, I went to a resort in Cancun. They have bars in the pool you can swim up to. Sounds like fun, but you don't want to drink too much in the pool. That sounds like a bad idea. Drinking too much when you're in the water. But, no, it does sound like fun. Guitar player, thank you for 57 months. He said, yeah, it's actually amazing. Yellowstone Park. That sounds interesting. I'm going to have to look into that. Ramza says, the Oregon coast has views and drinks and food. Maybe we'll look into that. Again, as long as it's not, like, super touristy shit. Like, I would probably never go to LA again in my life ever. Like, that's the last thing I would want to do. Go to, like, the place where there's a zillion fucking tourists. No. No, please. Heartbreaker, could you stop? He goes, are you going to vlog all these trips? Dude, can we chill? I even said we're not doing this anytime soon. We can't do it anytime soon. All right? Right now, it's just not in the cards that we would do anything like this anytime soon. So just relax your ass. All right? Stop getting excited. Getting all uppity about this stuff. Do they make yoga pants for men? That's an interesting question. You know, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they make all kinds of stuff like that for men and women. Compression pants, right? It'd be like the spandex compression pants. I'm sure they make them. Probably with special design around the crotch to not over-compress your balls, but that you still have compression on your legs. I bet they make them. No, they wouldn't make yoga pants in denim. That would be the opposite purpose of yoga pants. Would I consider doing a Reddit AMA to set the internet straight about what is going on right now? I'm not sure I know what's going on right now. What are you talking about? What particularly is going on right now that I would need to do a Reddit AMA on it? I'm not aware of anything going on. Right now, I'm on a normal week, chilling with my audience, talking, relaxing on my podcast. We're about to play Slay the Spire 2, which I'm excited for. Do I need to do a Reddit AMA for that? What are you talking about? The allegations. Oh, the of course. That's right. I should address all allegations. No, I told you. Listen, it's this simple. All the allegations are true. Every allegation that has ever been said against me is true. Even the ones that if they were all true contradict each other and couldn't possibly both be true, they're still true. Everything is true. 100%. What do I think of Sony's backpedaling on no more exclusives on PC? It's short-sighted, but at the same time, they really want to have a value for owning a PlayStation console, and that's the way to do it. So that's how they're protecting their value in the gaming landscape, because otherwise, if all PlayStation games eventually were coming to PC, that's going to cut down on their sales on PlayStation. And that's their focus. I mean, that's their whole reason that they have a console division, a gaming division, is to sell games on PlayStation, right? So, like, I understand where they're coming from, but it's kind of like the complete polar opposite of what Xbox is doing, right? Who's right, who's wrong? I don't know. But I know that Sony's not falling apart at the seams like Xbox is. So maybe they've got something there. I don't know. Any thoughts on John Carpenter's toxic butthole, as I called it after seeing the trailer because it looks awful? We watched the trailer. I don't even remember watching the trailer. So, if you mean that, yeah, from what people are saying, I guess it plays like Left 4 Dead or something. It came out already, right? I haven't heard a peep about it, so I don't think it's getting much traction. You know, I'm playing the games that people are talking about, Slay the Spire 2, and people keep asking me, will I check out Pocopia? I might. People are asking me, will I play Pokemon Fire Red or Leaf Green? I might. But I don't think I'm going to be playing this Toxic Avenger game. Or whatever it's called, Toxic Crusader. Well, attendance is quite good right now. Perhaps we should end the show and jump into Slay the Spire 2 while attendance is great, right? I want to say thanks to everyone chilling. And for those of you who supported early, thank you. We saw one Alex animation. Again, it would be great to get support for Slay the Spire 2 today. It did great on premiere day, and then sadly Friday, we had the power outage. It screwed it all up. If you like this chill gameplay of a brand new game that everyone's playing, then please support the stream today. Let's get it going. Let's have a nice, strong start to our week, okay? All right. Yeah, I think it's time. Let's have a shorter podcast for today. Why not, right? All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching the Level 1 podcast. I hope that you enjoyed it. Now, you might say, when's the next episode? It's a good question. I don't know. I would say maybe Thursday, because if we do one Thursday morning, as I've discussed, then we could have 3 straight days of playing a lot of games, right? Get as far as we can in each game, respectively, by doing a shorter morning show. And then on Thursday, we could do a catch-up podcast where I summarize everything that I thought about the week. What did I think about Slay the Spire getting further in? What did I think about Alex in Street Fighter 6? What are my thoughts and hopes about Crimson Desert that morning before we play it, right? I think that's likely how we'll go about it. So expect another show this coming Thursday. Lose. You don't lose? Well, thank you, Swampy Boy, for that vote of confidence. That is a £2 super chat. He says, here's some support for Slay the Spire, too. Thank you so much. And, I wonder what that's worth, because I haven't done a conversion in a bit. So hold on a second here while we take a look. See what the pounds are worth today. So it was £2, so that would be $2.65. Okay. Thank you so much, Swampy Boy. Okay. Alrighty, folks. I think that's going to do it for today's show. And as I just previously explained, I certainly hope that you will come back this Thursday to get all caught up on everything that we're doing. I'll give you my summary thoughts on everything we played this week, my expectations for Crimson Desert, and more. But in the meantime, it's going to be a loaded week. Lots of fun, lots of games, lots of content. I certainly hope that you will join me here for that stuff all week long. Thank you guys so very much for watching the Level 1 podcast. I will see you soon. Peace out.